This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so when you talk about SAP FICO opportunities, there are two ways. Point number one is your experienced candidates. Point number two is fresher candidate. Now, if you go into the market as an experienced candidate, always openings will be there in all companies. Okay, this is your point number one. Point number two, if you go here, only in selected companies there will be openings. This is fact. Okay, now point one is ruled out because everywhere you will get the opportunities as an experienced candidate. This everybody is clear, agree with me?
True, sir.
If you go with an experienced, everywhere you will get the opportunities. Now what about this point? If I go with fresher, now when you're talking about a fresher, first you have to classify what kind of a fresher are you talking about. If I say I'm a fresh college pass out, this is one kind of a fresher.
Yes.
And the other one is domain experience but new to SAP. This is another kind of a fresher. Clear these two kind of a freshers?
Yes, sir.
Third one is certified fresher. In short, SAP trained. Next one, SAP trained but not certified fresher. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, there are several companies in the market to offer SAP FICO jobs. Okay, point number one, I'll say level 5 companies, you'll say level 4, level 3 companies. You also have startup companies, you also have consulting, in short, payroll companies. You also have product based companies wherein you will get in-house SAP consultants. If you're not talking, be on mute. You get product based companies where in-house SAP consultants will be there, or in-house IT team, in short. If you're talking about level 5 companies, here you may not be able to get into the organization as a fresher, because most probably these level 5 companies will recruit the freshers from colleges, most likely from your MBA colleges or chartered accountant freshers, CWA freshers, or your B school freshers. Clear? These companies will go and get the candidates from the fresh pass out MBAs or any commerce graduate, chartered accountants, or from the management programs like your B school and all. Level 3 will also do the similar thing. Level 3 also will do the similar thing. But when you go to the startup companies, there are a lot of startup companies, there are a lot of payroll companies or consulting companies. These startup companies, these consulting payroll companies will take the freshers. You also have freelancing jobs. When we talk about freelancing jobs, these kind of freelancing jobs are such for a short term period. Let's say they may need a FICO person, a consultant or a candidate who is good at FICO only for the documentation purpose or only for the testing purpose or only for the guided configuration purpose. Okay. Now, if you go to level 5 companies, it is little difficult but not possible. It's not that it is impossible, it is a little difficult. But what you'll have to do is you need to have certain references. Those who are already working in your company where you're trying to join. Let's say if I'm working in Wipro or if I'm working in Deloitte Infosys, I know that for certain projects we need fresher. Okay, so they normally call it as interns in SAP or junior consultants in SAP. For this intern position or for the junior consultant position, they might be seeking fresh candidates who are good at SAP FICO. Either you are a trained candidate or you are an end user with thorough understanding of SAP FICO. In either of these cases, in short, if somebody wants to take you as a FICO consultant, they are only going to check your SAP understanding, your SAP knowledge. It is not about how you are going to configure it. It is all about why you are configuring like that. If you are able to explain me why you are doing like this, you will get selected. If you are telling me how you are configuring, you may not get selected. Is my point clear? But unfortunately, majority of the candidates will talk how we are defining the things in SAP, but not why we are defining like this. But on the other side, everybody wants to hear you explaining why we are doing like this. But we are ending up explaining how we are doing this. That is where the problem comes. Because of this reason only, most of the people will not entertain freshers. It's only that you only know how to do the settings. But I want you to know why you are doing like this. How to do, I can train you. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
How to is something that I can easily train you. I can train you after hiring you. Is my statement correct?
Correct, sir.
But why you are doing this, I can't train you. This should be your own skill or knowledge. But how you are entering the market plays a key role. Most of the people will enter with this. Majority of the people will enter the market with this skill. That is where they get rejected. It is not their fault. It is just that they are not realizing the fact. If I am aware that what is expected from me, I will prepare accordingly. Is that correct? If I know what is expected from me, I will prepare accordingly and then go to the interview. If I do not know what is expected from me, it is all based on my assumption. I am assuming that they are going to ask this concept, this configuration, that configuration. Everywhere I am looking at the configuration steps, T codes, tables, whatever it is. I am trying to refer this website, that website, this YouTube video, that YouTube video. Everything that you are referring, let's say you take some 5 sources on any particular topic. If you take, let's say if I talk about accounts payable, okay, everybody is aware of accounts payable, right? This is most common module in your accounting because everybody says that I know accounts payable. So if you talk about accounts payable, assuming that you do not know what is accounts payable, you take 5 sources, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In these 5 sources, do you get same definition, same example, or different?
Different.
Maybe 5 websites you take, 5 materials you take, 5 YouTube videos you take. Are you going to get same everywhere or different everywhere?
Same, sir.
I'm not talking about configuration because it is straightforward. Nobody wants your configuration. If you wanted to understand what is accounts payable, because is accounts payable only related to SAP FICO? Is that my?
No,
Let's assume accounts payable. Is it that accounts payable is only related to SAP FICO?
no.
No, sir.
It
Is
is a
it the
part
fact
of.
that this is part of every organization who is doing accounting?
Correct.
So it is not
Correct.
fact that one who learned SAP FICO only should know SAP accounts payable. Is that correct or wrong?
No, sir.
It is wrong. Whether you know SAP or you do not know SAP is immaterial, is not going to be considered anywhere. If you are projecting yourself that you are from accounting background, you are from finance background, or you are from commerce background, it is expected that you are aware of what is accounts payable business process. What happens in accounts payable? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Right? Now I am going to expect this accounts payable from you. But when I ask you about accounts payable, you are starting from create vendor account group, create number range, create assignment, create business partner, XK01, run the vendor report, FBL1, and all these things you are telling. Am I connected to you or am not connected with you? If you are answering this to me in the interview.
Not correct.
You got my point? If you are a
Yes, sir.
fresher or if you have not worked on accounts payable before, this is what you are going to tell. You are going to talk how to configure accounts payable in SAP. But nobody asks you or nobody will put a question, how do you configuration account, how do you maintain configuration in accounts payable, or what are the accounts payable configuration steps? Did anybody ask anybody this question in any of your interviews, those who attended? Anybody got this question to explain the accounts payable config?
No, sir.
Nobody is going to ask these kind of questions, but we will end up answering these questions, which nobody wants. It is because we assume that whatever the interviewer is answering, whatever the questions that your interviewer is giving you, make sure you keep on talking so that he feels that you have good subject knowledge, he will select you. This is another misguiding that people will get from the market. Don't maintain silence, talk something. Right? Some people will tell you, don't keep quiet, talk something so that the interviewer feels that you are good at the subject. The person who is taking interview is not a person who cannot judge a person, correct? They can easily figure out by the way you are talking, by the points that you are explaining. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
They can easily figure out, which means when you know that the other person is judging your answers, the other person is deciding based on what you're talking, if you are going to be a fit for this job or unfit for this job. You have to be extra careful while talking any point. You have to be careful, you have to be honest also. If you have not worked on any particular thing, accept that you have not worked on it. Okay. Now, when you are answering in your interview, most of the times we will end up answering how to. But this how to is something that that your project team member will teach you when you're in the project. They will give you a document, they will give you a user ID password, they will give you the dummy system access, they will tell you, you can configure this, you can practice. reality. But tomorrow, let's say I have taken you in my project, and in my project, assuming there is a requirement or there is a problem in accounts payable module. Now I want you to join that client meeting, or I want you to solve that problem from the business, or I want you to be part of the meeting along with me. So in the meeting, I am going to introduce you to the client, stating that he is the new consultant joined in our project. Going forward, he will be addressing all your accounts payable or all your support related queries. And I am going to tell that he is Mr. Ajay or whatever the name, and this is his contact number, this is his email ID. You can reach out to him for any assistance or for any support. I'm not going to be with you entire the call. I'm not going to talk on your behalf. I am only going to introduce you to the client, and then I may tell that I have another meeting. I'm leaving the call. You please discuss with Mr. Ajay and then clarify whatever you have. Now you will be all alone in the meeting call with the user. Correct? Now you do not know what your user is going to ask. You do not know what he is going to check. Is you are going to check your accounts payable configuration knowledge?
No, sir.
Right? Are you going to tell them accounts payable is this? First we will have business partner. Business partner is a new thing in S4 HANA. In ECC we had only vendor. Can you tell these points to the user, to the client, to the business? No, right? You have to answer the questions or the problems, issues that they are facing. Now when they are asking you any kind of problems or solutions, they are not expecting immediate solution from you. Clear? They are not going to expect immediate solution from you, because everybody knows it will take some time for anybody to understand what is happening. Am I correct? It will take time for you,
Yes,
for me, for you, for anybody to understand what is happening, because it is your business process. I am new to this, right? I may be experienced in SAP, but not in your business process. I don't know how your accounts payable is working. I don't know how your system is configured. So what I have to do, I have to talk to you first. So in between our conversation, nowhere configuration will come into picture. Nowhere T code will come into picture. It's all about the business process that I am going to explain, that you are going to listen to me or ask if you have any questions. I may tell anything about accounts payable or any other module. What you need to do, just listen to me. Okay, how you are doing? Okay, which T code you are using? Okay, is this a standard process or you have done any customization? Something like, instead of keeping very quiet, ask some basic questions also, so that the other person feels you are understanding, you are connected to me, you're trying to gather the information. After that, try sit, explore what it is, check internally. You will have all the documentation, everything, but you have to know how to manage your client, how to manage your user when you're actually talking to them, when you're actually interacting with them. Now this is nowhere connected to your configuration. Correct? This is all connected to your config. All right, it's all about your understanding, it's all about your skill set. Am I correct?
yes, sir.
So how good you are at understanding these points, how good you are at projecting yourself, your experience to the other person, matters a lot. And if we are able to focus at this area from the beginning, it's easy for you to clear any interview. You will put a cross question to me why people are telling attending SAP FICO interview is difficult, clearing SAP FICO interview is difficult, when I feel it is very simple, it is very easy. Now anybody who attended interviews before, during the interview you may be nervous, during the interview you may not be able to answer everything, but after the interview, if you sit and list out the questions, is it true that you are not aware of those questions completely, or you are aware of it? Most of the questions you are aware or you are not aware? I'm talking about after attending the interview. Let's say I attended the interview today at 7:30 p.m. Now my interview will most probably will go for half an hour. Let's say now it's 8:07 p.m. My interview is completed at 8 o'clock. Now after 8 o'clock, if I sit now and then list out what questions I was asked, if I see through these questions again, is it that I put a checkbox for everything? I don't know this, I don't know this. Or is it that for most of the things, I will put a tick box, I am aware of this, I know this. What will be the scenario? We are aware of most of the things that they're asking. Yes, no? We are so confident that even before attending the interview, we will tell what topics will be asked in the interview. Yes, no? Yes or no?
Yes,
We are aware in each of
we
your
are aware.
FICO interview what topics will be questioned. You know the question paper well in advance, but still we are not able to answer. Why? It's open fact that everybody knows what topics to prepare for SAP FICO. Am I correct or wrong? Am I right? That if I want to, let's say,
Yes, Ajay.
Yes, sir.
I am new to SAP, please be on mute if you're not talking. Let's say I want to attend interview, assuming I've completed my training. Now I am in market for job trials. Now let's say I am all alone. I have nobody to guide me, help me, or suggest me. Luckily, I found you through my friend or anyways. I am seeking your support. I have an interview tomorrow or day after in so and so company. And can you help me? Then what you are going to do? You are going to ask me. You are attending interview in Deloitte, Wipro, Infosys. I have the questions of Deloitte. I have the questions of Wipro. I have questions of whatsoever company. Is this correct? Based on the company, you have the questions list in the market. If you open YouTube, Google, whatever. Yes, no. Is that correct?
Sir, are these questions they are genuine or like as you said those we get on Google?
No. That I am going to come. Now, are we going to get questions based on this search criteria parameters on the market, in the market?
Yes, yes, sir.
Based on the company and all. Now when it is so open that in this company these questions are asked, in this company these questions are asked, for freshers these are the questions, for experienced these are the questions. If this is reality, everybody who attends interview by preparing these questions must be able to clear the interview. Am I correct? Because question paper is leaked, but still we are not able to clear the interviews. Is this fact? Again, after knowing the questions from the Google, we are focusing on this. Again, we are focusing on this because very less percentage of the people will try to understand this. And only those people will clear the interview even if they know half information. Even if you tell 100% here, I don't want you. Even if you tell 50% here, I want you. There's a huge difference. You will be surprised when you talk in this way in any interview that you will hear a call from your HR stating you will be having your next round maybe after 2 days or 3 days. But if you talk like this, even after explaining everything so perfectly, you will tell we will get back to you, but nobody will get back to you. Because when you are trying to attend interviews, you have to be very practical. You have to be very practical. Do not assume anything. Do not believe anybody blindly. Because tomorrow it is your job. Tomorrow it is you who has to perform in the interview. And nobody expecting 100% clear answers from you. It's only 50%. If you talk 50%, everybody is fine with you. You only need to talk 50% at this level. then you will feel the difference practically. I don't need to tell you anything. In fact, nobody needs to tell you anything. If you talk at this level 50%, you will feel the difference. Now, anybody who is a fresher, anybody who is a trained candidate, their major focus is on point number 1 or point number 2. Major
It should be
focus
on
is on
point
point
number
number
2.
1. Anybody who is trained candidate. Anybody who is currently getting trained, anybody who is in the market for job trials, as a fresher, I'm telling. They will be focusing on point number 1 or point number 2. I'm not talking about everyone, I'm talking about major percentage. Most of the scenarios.
Point number 1.
Because most of you would have already completed your learning, all these things, different things. So you must be, you must be the right person to answer. Point number 1, agree with me?
Yes, sir.
But instead, if we try to focus on point number 2, let's say if I'm talking about automatic payment program. Now everybody tells APP is a mandatory topic to be questioned in your interview. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Everybody tells APP is mandatory and everybody knows that this is reality, that you will get a mandatory question from APP. Now we try to prepare for the interview, but what we will do, we will end up opening the SAP, go to FBZP screen, okay, and then create one vendor invoice, run the APP cycle and feel that okay, now I understood FBZP will have 6 settings, F110 I have 4 P's, I have created one invoice, I have executed this, I got the output. But in reality, anybody wants these steps in your interview? Yes, no? In reality,
No,
nobody
sir.
wants these points. They will ask you how APP works, how APP is beneficial to your business compared to manual payment. Is this time saving APP compared to your manual payment or not?
Yes.
APP will save your time. If you have 100 payments, if you have 10 payments, you have 1000 payments, you can make the payment just by one click. But will your APP pay all the outstandings? Or you have any flexibility to choose what to pay, what not to pay? You have that flexibility in APP to select what invoice to get paid, what invoice not to get paid.
Yes, sir. By utilizing payment of terms, we can do that.
Right? Whatever, but you have that flexibility, right?
Yes, yes,
It's not that system is completely paying all the invoices to all the vendors, whatever is due. You have that flexibility to restrict. There are different ways.
yes,
Now, when you are making a payment, the whole idea of making a payment is to settle the liability, correct?
yes,
You are making the payment to settle your liability or to settle your outstanding. Is my statement correct?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? How are we going to settle the liability with the vendor? You have to make the payment to the vendor. How you are going to make the payment to the vendor? There are different payment methods, or there are different mode of payments. I may issue cash to my vendor. I may issue a check to my vendor. I may issue the transfer to my vendor directly in their bank account.
Yes,
Correct?
sir.
Huh?
Yes,
If I want to issue a check, how checks are issued from SAP automatic payment program? You need a payment method for checks
yes,
separately. If I want to issue cash, cash payments are not carried out in automatic payment program. So cash
yes,
payments in APP are straight away ruled out. So you're going to use APP exclusively for check payment and bank transfers.
Yes, sir.
right? If I want to issue a check, how will I be issuing a check from SAP? First, you have to understand to issue a check, how check is issued in general. You need to write the check. Nobody will give a blank check to any customer or any vendor. You need to write some information on the check, like check date
Yes.
must be given, check name, the payee name should be mentioned, check amount should be mentioned, and then you should have the signature on the check. Correct?
Yes.
Now, if you are generating checks from SAP, how these are coming? First of all, how check comes from SAP? So what is this check called in SAP? You call this check as a smart form in SAP. Correct? This
Yes.
check is nothing but a smart form. Now, who will design this smart form? ABAP consultant,
Yes.
right?
Yes, sir.
How ABAP
Yes, sir.
consultant knows that this is the check?
Yes.
Pico consultant will have to show a physical check
So
to the
from
ABAP consultant,
yes,
right? As a
No, no,
Pico
sir.
consultant,
We have to give functional specifications.
even if you give functional specification, how ABAP consultant know the check dimensions? What is the height of the check? What is the length of the check? At what position check name
Okay.
should start,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Right. So you need to have literally a physical check copy with you. If your client is in India, he is going to courier the check, or you are going to visit the client, you will get the physical check. Or you can easily find the check. If your client is in India, he is using HDFC bank account. Now you also can have HDFC bank account check physical copy. Any HDFC bank account check format is the same. Agree? Whatever the branch it is, wherever
Yes,
it is in
yes, sir.
India, it is the
almost.
same.
It is the
It
same
is the
format
same, not almost,
for
it is exactly
all the
the same.
banks.
Yeah.
Now in India, you have one more thing called a CTS check, check truncation system. Irrespective of the bank in India, every bank will have to follow the check format according to the RBI guidelines. According to RBI guidelines, new check format is CTS, check truncation system. If you take HDFC, Axis Bank, State Bank, any other bank, every check will have the same dimension. Name is exactly at the same position in all the banks. Amount is exactly at the same position in all the banks. So if you develop one check smart program, smart form program, this can be used for any client, for any bank, if you are operating in India. What if you are working for a client who is in US, you are working for a client who is in Dubai, Singapore, or any other country? What they will do, they will literally courier a cancelled check from Dubai to India, from US to India. How many of you know this? Because for you to
Could you
test,
please repeat again,
for
sir?
you to test if your automatic payment program checks are working fine, where you have to print on A4 size paper or on actual check?
Actual checks.
A4 size paper, sir.
To see if it is actually printing or not. You have to test on the actual print, actual check. Your trials will be on A4 size paper, but your actual testing is on what? A4 size paper or original check?
In A4 size
Original
paper,
check
in
only.
thick paper is there.
Original check.
That A4 size paper testing is your trial testing. But once you feel that everything is fine, you have to insert the actual check on the printer. So you will be inserting the actual cancelled check. So initially what you will be doing, you will be taking either color Xerox of your check. What you will do, you will take the color Xerox of the check. Now when you take the color Xerox of the check, or when you scan and print the check size, your Xerox size may be a little bit here and there. Am I correct? So first of all, you need to ensure that you have the right check number or right check copy with you. and you decided, okay, this is what the check that I am going to give to the ABAP consultant or the technical consultant. Based on that, your ABAP consultant, your technical consultant is going to take a scale. Literally, ruler he will take, he will measure, okay, this check is 14 centimeters in height or 7 centimeters in length, whatever. He will tell, okay, from 4.8 centimeter name should start. That is how he will design the check. Now, anybody who is familiar with DTP operator or printers, printing press, if I want to put a flex board, whatever, they literally ask us the dimension. They ask us to measure wall or whatever. Yes, no?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Right?
Yes.
Exactly the same thing your ABAP consultant is going to do when they are going to make a check sample from the SAP system. Because tomorrow when you put the check leaf on the printer, it has to print exactly the same. If it is going a little up, down, left, right, your client will tell, no, this is not accepted in the bank. Please shift this left side. Please shift this a little top, move it a little right side, they will tell. It's not so easy that you move top, bottom also moves. If you move left, right also moves. Correct? Huh? If you move any slight change, everything will get changed. Again, you have to test thoroughly. Now, these points is what you have to understand in general. You don't have to sit with an ABAP consultant. You don't have to see how check is coming from SAP. You don't have to practice these points. But if you know the flow, that is more than enough for you to clear the interview. Because when you're in any project, on all these points, you will have predefined documentation. You don't have to apply your mind also when you're in a project. Because everything is ready-made. You just need to refer the document, understand it, do it. Clear? But how you're telling that the requirement, the steps that have to be executed, how you're getting the information, what you're doing, what challenges you are facing is what matters a lot. This is only possible if you understand the process. Right? Similarly, when you're printing this check, they will ask you from where you will get the data, from where your check date will come. So you'll have to talk about the tables. Once you run automatic payment program, which tables will get updated? You have to talk about PAYR, you have to talk about REGUH, REGUP, right? From where you are going to get the payee name on the check, from where you are going to get the amount, from where you are going to get the amount in words. Can we print the signature also on the check? On the other side, if you are giving bank transfers, to give the bank transfer, what information is needed? It is same information if you want to do a bank transfer from your net banking, correct? Whether you transfer the funds from your net banking or your company's account, is it the same process for bank?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right? So bank doesn't matter. According to bank, it is account to account transfer. From one account I am debiting to the other account I am crediting. To do that, I need debit bank account details, I need credit bank account details. In short, they will tell, give me your account number, your IFSC code, your account currency, amount to be transferred. On the other side, give me the receiver account name, receiver account number, IFSC code, amount, currency. Do you want me to give anything as a notification or information to the receiver, like note to pay? If yes, you mention the data, bank will do these transfers on your behalf. Because in no company, an accountant will log into net banking, will add all the vendor account names or account information as beneficiaries. He will log into net banking, do the transfer. Correct? Your company will send a payment file or payment information to the bank. Bank will do the transfer on your behalf. For that, what bank requires is all about your payee name, account number, account currency, amount. Is this what needed for the bank? And from where you are going to get this information? Again, you'll have to talk about PAYR table, REGH table, REGUP table. Now, if somebody is asking you about DME, this is what you are going to talk. Nobody wants to check if you really worked on DME or not. Tell that you have not worked on DME, but tell what happens in DME, how DME works. Okay, what information will be passed on to the DME. It is not mandatory that every company uses DME. Right? Some companies will go for customized payment file generation. There may not be any DME there. They will simply use the technical consultant like ABAP. When the APP is completed, they will write a program. ABAP consultant will write a program. For that, you need to give a logic. For every payment document, I need this information. This information is extracted into an XML file or a flat file, in short, text file. Tell that in your client, you are not using DME, you are using customized process. Who is going to say no? Nobody will say no. They will ask you, okay, how you are getting the data? Whether in DME or in your customized payment process, all they want to know from you is how payment information is extracted from system. That's it. Nothing beyond that. Nobody wants you to tell OBPM1, OBPM2, OBPM3, OBPM4, this A11 folder, IDoc, this, that. Nobody wants. Tell that you are not aware of it. You have not worked on it. Nobody is going to reject because of these reasons. Nobody will reject. If you are under impression, if you work on DME, only then you will get job, then you are wrong. Right? Only make sure you are able to talk on the process. When you're talking about the process, automatically the other person understands, you know the concept. It all depends on the way you are talking. Am I correct?
Yes.
Right? Whether you are able to understand when I am talking or not matters a lot. Now I am talking, I have no SAP, I have no T code, nothing. But are you able to understand what I am telling? Or you will be
Yes,
able
sir.
to understand
Yes.
only
Yes,
if
absolutely
I
correct.
open SAP, only if I show the T code, only if I show the screenshot with T codes. No, right? You're still able to understand what I am talking,
Yes, absolutely correct.
right? Which means you have that business process in your mind. Only, please be on mute if you're not talking, because you have some business process understanding in your mind. That is the only reason you're able to connect when I am talking without showing anything to you. I have no screenshot on my system. I have no SAP logon pad. I have no configuration PowerPoint presentation, nothing. But still you're able to connect what I'm telling, you're able to visualize. Yes, no? This
Absolutely,
is
sir.
what you
Yes.
need to clear your interview, nothing beyond this. If you're able to talk, if you're able to make the other person understand, you go attend interview anywhere. If you get rejected, you may get rejected maybe 1 or 2 times. That too your initial interviews. Later on, you will not get rejected. Even if somebody is rejecting you, you will not get disappointed, you will not get upset. You will be still comfortable, you will be still confident, you will be still happy because you feel that yes, I am able to answer confidently. That confidence is what you need. That confidence is what the other person is looking in you. If I send you to a client, if I ask you to discuss with a client or work on a project, work on an issue, incident independently, whether you have that confidence in you, whether you have that capability to work independently or not, is what I am going to check. Right? Now, if I come back to the point where we started, it's a fresher. Right? Now, if I consider a fresher, for everything, fresher will get scared. He will tell, I have no experience, I have not worked on this before. That becomes an excuse? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Even if I join as a fresher, even if you join as a fresher, you will tell, no, I don't know, I am a fresher. So you take that as an advantage. You take that as an advantage. This is one point. Second point, this is most important. We are all talking about consultant position. Is this what you want to become?
Correct, sir.
Is this what everybody wants to become? Consultant. Now, consulting is a business. Consulting is what? Consulting is a business. Now, consultant will have to work with or work for clients. Is this statement correct?
Yes, absolutely correct. The statement is correct. We have to work for clients only.
Alright. So
Yes.
there's a huge disturbance. If possible, you can move to other place where there is no much disturbance. Okay. So consultant will have to work with or will have to work for clients. Let's say your company and your client are different. Is this statement correct?
Yes, sir.
Your company and your client are different. Your company will charge from your client for your services for the month. Is this correct? There is something called billing. There is something called timesheet. Anybody heard this? Billing or timesheet?
Yes, sir. You have to fill it weekly.
Alright. This is because your company will have to collect the money from your client for your services for the month. Now, your client will not pay money, point number one, or will not accept freshers mostly. Your client will not pay money or your client will not accept freshers mostly. It's not completely, it is mostly. In short, in majority of the cases, your client is not okay to take a fresher, is not okay to pay money if you are putting candidates who are inexperienced. Now, your company is paying you salary every month, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, your company is spending money on you to recover or to make profit from client. So if your company is giving you, let's say, some 50,000 rupees salary to you, and whoever the client you are going to work, let's say your client may be charging 1 lakh from your client. So your company is giving you 50,000, your company is collecting 1 lakh for your services from client. Now there is a profit or not?
Yes.
Sir.
Yes, profit.
There is a profit. Now, if you are showing experience, it is easy for your company to sell you to the client, or it is easy for your company to put you in the client project if you are experienced.
Yes, sir.
Right?
So
If I say that you are a fresher, you have no experience, and if I tell the same thing honestly to the client, will they accept? They
No, they
will
will
tell,
not
no, please
accept.
don't experiment. Please don't experiment on my system. Please, I am ready to pay you more, but appoint or assign experienced candidates. Now your company has any option. Your company has any option to recruit freshers?
No,
It is not that they will not recruit, but they will recruit
but they'll
limited
recruit
freshers.
limited freshers and
They will
they'll focus
recruit
on who has experience of.
right. They will recruit limited freshers who they feel that they can train, who will be utilized for the small activities like document preparation, small testing things. For this, I don't need any experience. For such kind of roles, I will be taking freshers. And from freshers, this is what I am going to do. I am going to assign freshers under senior consultants who will be assisting them on the document preparation, basic configuration, testing, these kind of activities. But experience, please be on mute. Those, I don't know who it is. Experience is just a number on your resume. That's it. Experience is just a number on your resume. It's all asked because of this, because consulting is a business. Right? You are trying to get job to get salary, correct? Huh? You are ready to work if I say that I'll not give you any salary?
No,
Why? Because you're not getting any benefit. If a company hires a fresher, company is
yes,
also not getting any benefit. Company is ready to take you
yes,
if you tell that you're an experienced candidate, because it is easy for your company to put you in a client project. Your company will never tell you, please bring some experience along with you. It is your skill set, it is your thought process that you have to realize the market, and then you'll have to go with the experience. Now another fact here, let's say Mr. A joined an XYZ company with 4.4 years of experience in SAP FICO. Clear? Now when Mr. A joins XYZ company, is he going to work XYZ SAP or some other SAP?
Some other asset.
Some other SAP? No. I'll say XYZ company has assigned Mr. A to
client location.
this client. XYZ company has assigned Mr. A to YYYY client. Now here XYZ company may show Mr. A experience to client as 6 years. How many of you know that this happens?
I know, sir.
We didn't
Those who
know, sir.
worked in SAP, they will understand. Now, if you say that your 4.4 year of experience is not correct, this is also not correct.
Yes,
Yes,
Now you may get a question, why everybody is asking experience, and why not every company is checking your experience? Because of this reason. End of the day, it's a business. All they want is whether they can make profit, whether they can earn revenue from you or not. You have to show that potential, that capability, that skill set in you in the interview. In short, if I feel that I can sell you to the client, I will hire you. If I feel no, I cannot sell you to my client, I will not take you. This is as simple as that. Got my point?
Yes,
It's
correct.
easy for me to sell an experienced candidate than a fresher candidate. Agree with me?
Yes.
Yes.
I can easily sell an experienced candidate because experienced candidate will be easily assigned in any project. Now another reason why we will not get SAP fresher jobs. Now when we talk about fresher jobs, not this is majorly ruled out. This is majorly ruled out. This is majorly ruled out. Agree with me? This may be hardly 10%. I don't think it is 10% also. Agree with me, everyone? On the other side, whatever the fresher we are talking about, either you have different experience but you are considering yourself as a fresher, you have done certification, you are calling yourself as a trained fresher, you are trained but you are not certified. In all of these three cases, you are not a fresh pass out. Anybody who is a fresh pass out in this batch? When we talk about fresh pass out, you are only talking about current year, last year. Only these 2 years is considered as fresher. Otherwise, you are not called as a fresher. Everybody will tell you have a gap. Correct? Everybody is focusing on gap. What did you do in this? It becomes a big mystery. Whatever you tell, nobody will accept. Everybody wants you to provide a documentation for this gap that you have not done anything. Even if you tell honestly that I was jobless, they will not listen to you. They'll not agree. They'll not trust. Am I correct?
Yes.
You be very honest, but nobody will believe you. That is how the market is. You have to move according to market. You cannot change the market, but the only option is you have to change according to the market. Fill this gap, whether you put some health issues, medical reasons, produce a medical certificate. Right? Otherwise, if you tell that you are working somewhere during this period, give me a document. All I need is a document. I am not going to verify this because I am asking you because I have to fill up. I am a HR. I have to fill up experience. If you tell experience, yes, I need to pull. The moment I put yes here, I'll get another fields coming up here. Company name, designation, last drawn salary. Okay, payslip, yes. Form 16, yes. PF, yes. I'm not going to ask you all these questions as a HR. I'm only going to ask you to submit the document. If everybody will have to verify all this, nobody will get job. Am I correct? Less than 10% of companies will do strict background verification. Otherwise, nobody will do. It's only a normal background verification. They're only going to check this company is there, your offer letter is genuine, your relieving letter is genuine. That's it. It's easy for you to clear your BGV and make sure that you're not attending certain companies where you feel background verification is very strict. It is not that there are only those 5-6 companies in the world. Is that the fact? Or is that your dream company to work for? Before you die, you have to work in that company only, or you have to start your career only in that company? Anybody with that kind of mindset? Let's say company A, company B, company C are there. Assume here there is strict verification. This is normal. This is also normal. Now, if I learned SAP FICO, I want to make a career in SAP FICO. Do I have any such sentiments? company A is my dream company. I have to start my career only with A company. Do you find anybody with such kind of mentality?
No, we should not have.
There will be nobody with such mentality. If you have such kind of mentality, then it is your problem. You have to change your mindset.
Yes.
Right? If this is your dream company, change the position of it. Don't put this as first position. Don't try to work, because whenever you start your career in SAP, always remember you will have to change your job after 1 year or after 2 years. Am I correct?
Yes.
Initially, you are joining any company just to get a break, to have the first opportunity. You work for 1.5 year or 2 years, you will switch to another job. So go join wherever you get an opportunity. Don't have any this one kind of restrictions that it has to be like this. You don't decide what is to be there on your company where you want to join. It is the other side. When you're joining for the first time, your company will have to see whether you have certain checklist enabled or not in you. Once you have actual experience, then you decide. No, this company is level 3, I will not join this. I heard this company is having a lot of this many ECC projects, I will not join. Initially, you don't reject, because it is fact that companies will reject you at the beginning. Correct? You have to think, you have to be very, very practical, very, very open at the beginning. Otherwise, you are very, very limited. You will find only 10-15 companies running in your mind. Every day you will see whether there is any opening in this company. But there are hundreds of companies in the market. Alright? Now, in case if I take you as a fresher, assuming that you are fitting in this bucket, I take you as a fresher. Assuming you have 6 years of experience or 8 years of experience or 3 years of experience, whatever. When I treat you or when I take you as a fresher in SAP, am I going to pay according to your original experience or according to fresher experience in SAP? I am going to pay you according to
Original
fresher
experience.
in SAP. Right? I am not going to consider your domain experience. I am not going to pay according to your domain experience. I will tell you are fresher. According to our company policy, you will be designated as associate consultant or junior consultant or intern in SAP. For intern in SAP, I may say we will be paying only 3.5 lakhs per annum or 4 lakhs per annum, or let's say 5 lakhs per annum. But do you honestly feel that if initially you will join as a fresher, but are you sure that you are going to work for this salary for long tenure for 3-4 years? Or you will start searching for the job immediate after 1 year? What is reality? After 1 year, we will look
We
for a
will search
change?
for
Yes,
another
no?
jobs.
Why?
Yes.
Because you know that you are underpaid. You have that justification in your mind. I just joined this company because I wanted a break. The moment you complete 1 year, the moment you get original Form 16 and all, you will start searching outside. This is open fact to everybody. That is why companies also will not entertain these kind of things. Some companies, if they take as a fresher, they will ask you to write a bond for 2 years, 3 years. Am I correct? Some companies, especially if they take freshers like this, they ask you to write bond for 2 years that you are not leaving the company. Because they are going to invest on you, right? They are going to put you on training. If there is no project, you will be on bench. Still company will pay you salary and all. If you don't want all these things, this is the option. You are telling 4.4 years, your company is telling 6 years. You are also hero, your company is also hero. That's it. You are not going to blame your company is not going to blame you, because it's a win-win situation. That is how consulting works. That is the reason freshers in consulting are not considered. If you are not having much experience, you have only 1-2 year of experience, then you can consider. Otherwise, because when I have an option to hire a 4 year of experienced candidate and I have an option to hire 1 year of experienced candidate, I know that if I sell this 4 year of experienced candidate to my client, I will get 1 lakh rupee profit. If I sell this 1 year of experienced candidate to my client, I get only 20,000 profit. What profit I want, 1 lakh or 20,000? If your company, if your HR,
Obviously 1 lakh.
if you're the project lead, what do you think?
Obviously 1 lakh.
Right? Assume that tomorrow you are in an organization, you are working as an SAP lead or SAP project manager or SAP delivery head, whatsoever. Now, if you wanted to hire a person in your project, you are a panel member. Now, there are two persons coming to the interview. One person is a fresher. The other person is telling that he has 3 years of experience. Are you going to give weightage to the 3 year experienced candidate or fresher? What will strike your mind firstly? Fresher or experienced to work in your project? Agree with me? Now, initially we are thinking that freshers are not getting job. Tomorrow when you are on the other side of the table, you will also think the other way. You will also tell, no, I don't want fresher. He has some experience. At least he knows something. Agree?
Yes.
His fresher means he doesn't know anything. He is telling experienced. Whether he really worked or not, nobody, God only knows. But at least he is aware of certain things.
Yes.
You will be giving weightage for that only for the point that you are aware of things. It's only for that you are aware of things. It's not for you are experienced in things. There is a huge difference because experience is just a number on your resume. That will only give you the gate pass. Whether you qualify or not is dependent on your skill set, your knowledge. This is just a pass, gate pass for you to enter. After entering, how you are going to play is your skill. Correct?
Yes.
Clear? Any doubt?
Yes.
Sir,
Sir, I have one
Yes.
question.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, recently I attended one of
Okay.
me. She said you cleared first round of interview. After that, she called me. After I asked her, when I will get second round, you can send me documents. Okay, I send documents. After that, she asked me like how much you are getting currently. I said one number. Okay, again she said you will get. Okay, I asked some more. Okay, after that she called me. Okay, I said okay. Okay, after that she asked me, do you have PF? I said okay. After that,
No,
tomorrow she called and
your
she
voice is
said,
breaking. Okay.
hello. Now it is
Yeah,
okay,
go
sir.
ahead. Yeah, now it is fine.
Yeah, tomorrow she called me. Okay, we will give this much of amount. Okay. After that she didn't called me today. Can I ask and ask her?
No, you wait for a couple of days only, then you need to ask. Before they come to you, they'll have to get approvals internally. Because for every position,
Uh,
there is something called budget. Okay, let's say if I'm talking about an SAP FICO job, where I am looking for a candidate with 3 to or maximum 5 or 6 year of experience, and my budget may be, let's say, 8 lakhs per annum or 10 lakhs per annum or 12 lakhs per annum. Whatever the amount you are quoting, if your expected salary is within the budget, as a HR I will tell, okay, send me the documentation and then I will come back to you with the figure or with an update on your offer releasing. What they will do once they get a confirmation or acknowledgement from you that we are going to offer you X amount, you say, okay, I am fine with it. They will ask you to submit the documentation, your offer letter, pay slip, except a relieving letter, everything you need to submit. When you submit all this documentation, they are going to send your profile for the approval. Your profile will be sent for the delivery team, it will be sent for the finance team, all this. They will have to approve it. Only when they get the approval, they are going to call you. Until they get the approval, they will not call you. Because internally there will be an approval process. Okay, you have to wait for a couple of days. And now, if you see, this is the holiday season. You'll get Ramadan holidays. The person who has to approve may be available, may not be available. So you'll have to consider all the factors. If this is during the weekend season, they may not get approvals on the weekend. Clear? So you'll have to wait for a couple of days, maybe 1 or 2 days you wait. You can give a follow-up on Monday if you're not getting any update. But not immediately. Okay. Any other questions?
Sir, you were saying that not only to check your job portals for the jobs, but also to see the career tab in the
Company
other
websites.
companies.
Correct.
Yes, sir. So how to know that there are thousands of companies are there. So how to know that which company has implemented the SAP or which company is using the SAP?
That list you will get even if you Google list of companies which are using SAP in Pune or in Hyderabad, in Bangalore. You get the list of companies which are using SAP. Or you simply put SAP Fico jobs in Hyderabad, SAP Fico jobs in Bangalore, Pune, Mumbai, whatever the location. Because everybody will have certain locations where they want to work. Agree? When you
Agree, sir.
put that, you get a big list from Google. You will get a lot of consultancies, you get companies and all. When you open each job description, you will come to know the company names or client names. Or what you do, you go to LinkedIn. What you do, go to LinkedIn, just search for SAP FICO consultant. See the result of people, not job. Now you will come to know different profiles on LinkedIn where people are working as SAP FICO consultant. Everybody will put their current company name, maximum. Yes, no?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
List out the company names. You don't need to Google also. Am I correct? Put that company name in Google. Go to careers portal. Check if there are any open SAP FICO positions. If not, if you have the finalized resume which you are not going to edit anymore, be it your company name, contact number or email ID, go to that career portal. You will find, please send an email. Everybody will have an email ID in the career portal.
Yes, sir.
Correct? Draft an email, send to them. Likewise, you will get hundreds of emails in your list within couple of days. Yes, no?
Correct, sir.
Right? If you are waiting after uploading your profile in Naukri, LinkedIn, Monster, wherever, you may get call, you may not get call. Like, because people like you, people like me are so many, hundreds, thousands in the market. And do we really feel that when you click on apply button, somebody will view your application? Nobody will view your application. It's very rare because people like you, me will hit thousands. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Right? So we have to be a little smart in approaching. Don't wait until a HR comes to you. You go and approach the HR. Try to gather the information who are recruiting in SAP. list out the information, list out the company names and all, then start applying. Start sending emails from your Gmail. Instead of clicking apply button on Naukri, Monster, LinkedIn, do this from your Outlook or from your Gmail. Send separate email for each company. Somebody will send 3-4 email IDs in two, or in BCC they'll send. This approach is for HRs, not for us. For every company you need to send a different email. Then why you will not get the responses? If you send 50 emails, at least 10%, at least 5 people will approach you. You send 50 emails and then see whether you will not receive less than 5 emails. For sure you will get more than 5 responses. At least your interview will get scheduled. Correct? The first achievement of you is to get the interview call, is to get interview scheduled. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Whether you crack your interview or not
Yes,
is the
sir.
second point. First, let's get the interview call. For that, what we are doing is what the main important question. Most of the people, they upload their resume every day update, every day evening update. But who knows whether somebody is interested in your profile or not? If nobody is interested, you create the interest. You take the responsibility, you be serious. That shows how serious we are in getting the job, right?
Thank you, sir. Thank
Right,
you.
so you should have a
If they will
different
come
approach
for
than.
office for working, hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
If they will ask for day one onwards come for work from office, can we ask for 1 month work from home?
Don't ask. Don't ask. If they are asking, if you're sure, if you're confident on the subject, go attend interview also face to face. Nobody is going to
Okay.
do anything as long as you are confident, as long as you are strong in your subject, your explanation.
Yeah, they asked me
If you are
in
not,
work with client.
because they are only going to ask you these questions to check your comfort. Because if you say no, I need 1 month time,
Okay.
then they may be shortlisting another person also. If the other person says, I am ready to come to office from today onwards, now they might switch. They might say that, okay, your profile is on hold currently because you're not ready to come to the office. But we have recruited you for a XYZ client where for this project, the candidate must be working from office. Because you said no, you need 1 month time, or you are not willing to come to office, you may lose the opportunity. Nobody knows from which direction you may get opportunity, from which direction you may lose opportunity. You have to be smart. Clear?
Sir, this apply when you are in a company also.
Yes. This is common. This is not only for those who are trying to attend the interview with some projected experience. This is commonly applicable for any consultant because certain requirements are like that. Because some requirements are generic requirements, some requirements are project specific requirement. Sometimes I do not know in which project you will be working while taking the interview. So those are generic interviews, pooled interviews. So we will hire 20-30 FICO consultants. Based on the requirement, the consultants will get assigned to the respective project. On the other side, there may be project specific requirements. They say that we want a FICO consultant with this many years of experience. Candidate must work from office. Candidate must be from this local candidate only, or candidate must work in night shift. Now here your first filtration is acceptance of these conditions. If you are okay to work in night shift, only then your interview is scheduled. Initially whatever they tell, you have to say okay, you're ready to work in night shift, yes. You're ready to work in this, yes. If you say no anywhere, that no may wipe out your opportunity. Correct? As simple as like you're reading any agreement blindly, we will put accept, accept, accept. Here also you put accept. Once you join, you can give any reason to excuse, you'll get the excuse. As simple as that. Clear?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Uh, Actually, I have given one interview in last 3 months. Okay, but there is no call from the HR in this regard. So I
Hmm.
thought that they have not selected me. But today they called again me for the same position, and they said, "Are you looking for job?" What would be the scenario happened with this company?
Your initial round that they have taken is not successful. Maybe according to their company, they'll have to interview the same candidate after 1 month or after 2 months, like that. There will be a cutoff period to interview the same candidate for the second time.
Okay.
So their database already has your profile. So instead of searching online again, they will contact or they'll approach the people who have already attended the interview to check
Okay.
if you are
Okay.
still available. It's easy for them to schedule your interview again, and chances of you getting selected are more.
Okay. That means they are maintaining such kind of database.
Yes, every company HR database is very, very strict, including your name, contact number, your PAN number, everything they will update before they call some user or before they call any candidate. They will verify whether this candidate had attended interview earlier or not. Even if you
Oh,
tell no, they will come to know because they would have collected your PAN number, or while taking interview, you will have to show your identification. They'll take a photo with your consent,
yes.
right? They will verify that. They'll put, if you put PAN number, Aadhaar number, or any other number, they'll do a control F. If it is found that the candidate has already been interviewed, they'll not interview again.
Okay.
They may not tell
But
all these points, but go ahead.
but suppose like they require specific profile candidate, okay, and the interview was done before the 3 months, okay, and for same position they are looking after 3 months, and at the time of interview they are saying they require immediate candidate or within 30 days candidates, and after 3 months also they are looking for the same profile candidate. What would be the scenario? They are not getting the candidate, or any other scenarios happening with this profile?
It depends on the company that we are talking about. If it is, let's say, some product based company or a small company where there are only 2 3 projects with the company, only if a person leaves, another job requirement comes up. This is one point. Okay.
Okay.
On the other side, if it is a consulting company, they need candidates on a regular basis because they will be taking a candidates on a pooled basis. Let's say at a time they will hire 5, 10, 20 FICO consultants. Based on the availability, they will assign to the respective project. But if somebody is specifically looking for the same profile after 3 months, then as you said, they may not be getting the right candidate. For these kind of positions where they are eagerly looking for a candidate but they are not getting, they will not compromise. At the end, they will compromise. They say that in the market we are not getting the candidates according to our requirement. They will decide, okay, let's take any one FICO consultant, we will tune them according to our requirement. At that stage, whoever attends the interview will get a jackpot. They may get selected because these guys are irritated, or these guys are fed up with taking lot of interviews every day or every week. They feel that
Okay.
if nobody is perfect, everybody is giving me the same reasons. One fine day they will decide, okay, let's hire somebody and let's train them, because they will also have the pressure.
Can you, sir, tell me what is the future of tax and revenue management profile in SAP?
Tax and revenue management.
Yes.
This is part of your FICO only, but specifically on this area, it will be very less. Everybody will expect you to be in a position to handle anything on FICO. So these
Okay.
points will have to be your key skill set or you are expert in these areas, but should not be that you are only aware of these areas. This
Okay.
should be the
Because,
highlighters of your profile.
because the employer specifically has mentioned that suppose the candidate has do not have experience on TRM, they are ready to train, but candidate should be able to work on this TRM. That means there are no TRM candidates available in market. There is a shortage of TRM.
It is not that there is a shortage of TRM, it is the fact that there is no exclusive job for TRM. TRM is again add-on skill set for a PICO consultant. When you talk about TRM, when you talk about this credit management, when you talk about project systems, funds management, these are all additional skill set over and above your FICO. If you tell that
Okay.
I know TRM, but I do not know FICO, you will not get selected because TRM works based on FICO because
Okay.
it's again finance background. It's all about your investment related money markets, investments, your bank deposits, loans, derivatives, all this. FICO knowledge is a must for it because TRM you are not going to have lot of work. Similarly, funds management, similarly, credit management. What these consultants will do if there is a project work, they are going to work on these areas. If not, you have to handle FICO. Your primary skill set will be TRM, your secondary skill set will be FICO. If I don't have a TRM project, if I don't have any work in TRM, I will be utilizing you in FICO. Otherwise, I have to tell you there are no projects in TRM, you please look out for another job. But nobody wants to say that, right?
Okay.
The central finance also related to FICO.
Yes, but not completely relates to FICO. It's just another sub component in FICO where you are using different things. I have not worked on central finance, but it is part of FICO. Like TRM, this is another skill set. Clear?
Yes, right.
Yeah. All right
Hello.
then. Let me one